Are you tired of making terrible beats? Well, I'm gonna fix your beats. This first beat comes from Mario. Mario says, "Beat help, I suck. Can you help? I'm in my second week of making beats and I don't think I'm doing too well." Mario, we will give it a listen and we'll let you know if it is good or bad. Now let's give it a listen. Wow. Mario, what is this? Why did you put your chords so absurdly low? I bet you it would sound better if we just maybe went up an octave or two. It also kind of looks like you're in D minor. Let's like bring these chords up an octave. If you want to add depth to your chords, just take the bass notes of your chords and bring them down an octave. And maybe we could just take this whole thing back down an octave. It sounded way better around here. Now there's some pretty big jumps between these two chords, so I'm going to take this middle note right here and bring that up an octave. So now there's a little bit less of a jump, and we can also take this A sharp and bring that down too. Yeah, I like this little dissonance you kind of threw in here. It's a cool idea, the suspended chord. So let's just see what you're doing for mixing on that. Nothing, which is totally okay. The sound is a little awkward. There's like a little bit too much high end once you bring it up to the 5th octave. And there's also a lot of low end to the sound that we don't really want. And you can see here, a lot of these frequencies are a little sharp, a little painful. So what I like to do, and this is just like, I think it's called reductive EQ, or like, no, it's subtractive EQ. So find those frequencies you don't like right here. That's not good. And you just bring those down. You can bring them down, I don't know, however much sounds good. You don't need to reduce too much. Sounds better already. Now I'm gonna throw OTT on here. OTT is a completely free plugin that you can get, and let's just put some of that on there. And reverb too while we're at it. Because Flex, don't get me wrong, Flex is fine. I'm just not a huge fan of a lot of their guitar sounds, and to make them sound better, it's usually good to add reverb. Now, because this is your chords and there's gonna be so many other things, I wanna stereo separate your chords just to make some room for the other things in the mix. Like 20% is good. And then I'm gonna turn down the volume because it is pretty loud. What is this? I mean, we can just, I don't know, randomize the velocities. That would kind of add a little bit more bounce to it. Kind of a cool idea. Also, I think we should probably mention this. With your chords here, they're great. Love what we're doing here. It would be nice if we strum them a bit, give them a bit more of a human touch. And then we can randomize the velocities with Alt-R to do kind of the same thing. Just give it a bit more of a human touch. Now we got this bass line. The bass line looks kind of crazy. Like, I'm really not a fan of what you're doing with the bass line. What is this? It's a flex sound. I'm really not a huge fan of this. And here's why. So if we open up the EQ, you clearly notice something. There's only these sub frequencies, which is like, it's not bad if you want a sub bass, but it's just, you're getting this weird punch in the beginning. The punch doesn't really sound good, and then it's just this sub bass that you can only feel, you can't really hear it. Not pleasant, like it's not adding much, but I'm totally here for adding in a bass. I like the idea. And just to keep it going with like the non-expensive VST kind of vibe, you can easily use some one-shots. And by the way, I have a bunch of one-shots in my Crisis bundle, which you can get only on presetsupply.com. There was also the Abstract kit, which has a ton of one-shots that I helped with as well. Let me just like find, you know what? Let me go to the Crisis bundle while I'm here anyways. I think this is kind of what you would want. Put that in track 4, and let's just take that out. Now, what I'm gonna wanna do here is I'm going to wanna put the envelope to just be like this, pretty much, just so that it holds the bass for each note. And then also, if I remember correctly, we put it in mono here, and then we can also put on portamento, and this will make it slide. And we can adjust the slide here if we want. Now, I'm not loving how this is happening, just because it's like, it's going a little too high up. I think, honestly, yeah, something like this might be a better idea. And we can turn down this bass now because it doesn't need to be this loud. That's actually kind of hard. Now you got this harp. What is the harp doing? I'm here for the harp. I think the only thing I would change is you just have this kind of weird rhythm thing going on here and here. It's not weird, it's just the fact that it's kind of the same but kind of different. It's a little awkward. So I would just change it up like this. The A just kind of sounds better. Ending on the 5th is something I like doing personally. It just sounds good. All right, Mario, what do you got going on with these drums? Let's see. So first things first, why are these all in the same pattern? Okay, this is your hi-hat. Now it looks, yeah, you're doing like a textbook sin. This is a terrible kick. Why'd they call it a kick? It's like kind of like an 808, to be honest with you. That's just kind of bad titling, I guess. I'm gonna give you an actual kick. So let's go into your kick. I'm gonna turn up the velocity as well. Let's deal with this pattern. I don't really like what you're doing here. I think this is a good idea. Like we could just kind of add a little bit of a ghost kick leading into that kick. It would be nice. We could repeat that all over the place. We don't have to, but it's looking like this would kind of be the general idea for your pattern. All right, what other drum sounds do you have going on in here? You got the hi-hat and you got this clap. Or it's a snare, my bad. Yeah, see, switching that up just adds a little bit more bounce to it. It's also like really quiet. So I'm just gonna take these, I'm gonna drop their velocity down because these are the notes that we're having here just to accent the main ones. So turn the velocity down on these. These are the main kind of notes. It's hitting on your 2 and your 4. That's kind of like your bread and butter for your snare. And then we can just kind of turn this up because it's a little quiet. And then we can just kind of turn this up.